See, there's nothing that is not God. So God is the sum total of all there is, all there ever was, and all there ever will be. The all in all, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Interestingly enough, that is precisely how God is defined by most of the world's great religions, using in fact the same language. God is the all in all, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. The up and the down of it, the left and the right of it, the here and the there of it, before and the after of it. Male and female created he them. So God is all that ever was, is now, and all that ever will be. One could probably summarize it in a single word: life. Conversations with God tells us that God is life itself expressed. And so we find that the words life and God are interchangeable in most sentences, in most languages.
So, of course, the implication there is that we are just as much a part of God as our notions of God. So God is not only outside of us, God permeates us.
Well, God wouldn't be all that is if God didn't permeate us. If God was all that is in the universe except us, that would make us really exclusive real estate. The mind is an energy field that likewise is vibrating even more rapidly than the body. And it is a computer, if you please. It has, as our scientists tell us, it's the most magnificent computer ever devised, such as to make even the fastest computer primitive by comparison. And these are two devices that are used by the soul, which is the only aspect of us that has an actual agenda. And the soul's agenda is God's agenda, because the soul is God, individuated in, as, and through us. Mm-hmm. So the soul is, if I could put it this way, God's representative in us. That's a strange way to put it, but just creates a picture phrase so we can kind of get an idea about what that is. And so God's agenda is the soul's agenda. The soul's agenda is God's agenda. And that agenda is to express and experience itself. That is, God wishes to know itself in its own experience, and has divided itself into a billion, gazillion individuated parts, which we call in our language its souls, its soul, body, and mind triumvirates, the individual expressions of God through which that which is God is expressing and thus being experienced. Body and mind are expressions, differing expressions of a single energy that we call the essence of life itself. I could even put it this way, that they are single expressions of divinity, or single expressions of God. So in my understanding, your soul, as well as your body and your mind, are individuated expressions of the single and only source that there is. I mean that everything in life is physical, including your own soul. I mean exactly what I said. I mean that all things are physical, and just because they're invisible does not mean that they're not physical. Sound is invisible, that is, you can't see it unless you're measuring it with a very sensitive measuring device, but generally speaking, you walk into a room, you can't see sound, but you can hear it. And it is very, very physical, for sure, as is true of light. You can't see light. You can see the source of light, but when you're looking into a room that's lit from above, you can't see the light. You can only see the things that light are bouncing off of, but you can't see the light itself until you hold something up for it to bounce off of. Hold up a white sheet of paper, and you'll see the paper reflecting the light, but you can't see the light. Yet light is very, very physical. If you want to test that out, well, maybe you shouldn't do it, but imagine yourself putting your hand into a microwave. It's just sending you, but do not do it. But I can tell you that what's going on in that microwave is very physical. So because a thing is not visible does not mean that it's not physical. In fact, all energies are physical. There's no energy in the universe that's not physical, but there are many, many energies that are not visible. We've confused visible and physical.
Indeed.
God is physical. In fact, God is the ultimate physicality. God is the physicality of everything, both seen and unseen. In the universe, both the known universe universe and the unknown universe. And by the way, physicists are now intriguing us with stories and possibilities of the fact that there may be more than one universe. We may in fact, if you can imagine this, be living in a universe of universes. That there may be as many universes as one could possibly conceivably imagine, which is extraordinary when you consider the size of the present universe that we think of as the only universe. Even that universe is unimaginably huge. But wouldn't it be interesting if even that universe were nothing but a single cell in the body of God? I don't think the Bible is wrong. I wouldn't use the word wrong. I would simply use the word incomplete. I think that when we have incomplete information about something, it looks like there's something wrong in what we're seeing. But in fact, it's like looking into a carnival glass mirror. It's just distorted. You're really seeing the image, but it's simply distorted. So I wouldn't say that the Bible is wrong, but I do think that some of the information in the Bible has been distorted through a lack of understanding, or because we have not really received the information in its complete, or considered it in its most complete form. So I think that the challenge with the world's religions today is that they simply do not have the whole story. And I was, running around the world asking this question now for years: is it possible that there's something we don't fully understand here about God and about life, the understanding of which could change everything? See, here's what I noticed. Well, I noticed that in spite of all the teaching of all the world's religions through all the centuries and millennia, nothing has changed. Very little has changed. Things have modernized. That is, we have technologies today we didn't have before. We have communications abilities we didn't have before. But the basic conditions of the human experience have not changed at all. We still have the 7 deadly virtues, so to speak: vice, avarice, greed, violence, for that matter, killing even more than ever before, and so forth. So with all of our advancement technologically and in medical science and in all of the areas of life, except spirituality, we find that we are still confronting the same conditions within the human experience that we've confronted from the beginning of time. And I think that is because we simply do not have all the information at our fingertips, all the information about God and about life. There's a reason for that. I hate to just go on and on here. You asked a simple question, but let me just close with this. The reason that we don't have all the information is not that it's not available. It has been made available through the centuries and through the decades, through many teachers and many messengers. So the problem is not lack of availability of all the information. It's lack of believability on our part. That is, we have heard now from messenger after messenger. We simply haven't believed it for the strangest reason. It's too good to be true. How is it possible for 7 billion people to all say they want the same thing and be unable to get it? That's the key question that humanity has to ask itself. Some world leader, the new pope, or somebody has to stand up and say, look, folks, can we admit to ourselves that this system is not working? 5% of the world's people hold or control 95% of the world's wealth and resources, and even they can't hold on to it and be happy? Do you suppose there's something we simply don't fully understand here?